Good morning. Welcome to St. Swithin's Daily Devotions for Monday, the 9th of August. If you tuned in on Friday, you'll know that we broke off chapter 14 of Paul's letter to the Romans at verse 18. And today we're looking at the following passage, which continues into chapter 15, verse 13. You might like to have your Bible open in front of you for reference. So may we pray. Lord, please open our eyes to see, our ears to hear, and our hearts to receive your word to us. Amen. Do the right thing. Every day we hear that slogan, don't we? Do the right thing, not just for yourself, but for those you love, for your family, for your friends, for the whole community. This could easily have been the title of yesterday's and today's passage from Romans 14 and 15, as Paul pleads with the Jewish and Gentile Christians in Rome to reconcile their differences and live together for mutual good. He writes in verse 19, "Let us therefore make every effort to do what leads to peace and mutual edification." Now, this peace is the all-embracing shalom, which should be the mark of the Christian community, not just the burying of differences. And the word edification implies the building up of one another in Christ. Earlier in this chapter, Paul has given examples of other divisive issues, such as the observance of holy days and being judgmental. Now he returns to the food issue, as he says in verse 20, "Do not destroy the work of God for the sake of food. All food is clean, but it is wrong for a person to eat anything that causes someone else to stumble." Food was obviously a big issue, in particular meat, which may have been sacrificed to Roman gods. It's not hard to identify with this problem, is it? Many people today won't eat meat because of the way the animal was killed. Jesus had declared all food clean, but this is another issue. It threatens to destroy the unity of the church. In verse 7, we read, "None of us lives to himself alone." We might add, so do the right thing. In the 17th century, the poet John Donne, who was Dean of St. Paul's in London, wrote this: "No man is an island entire of itself. Every man is a piece of the continent, a part of the main." In the midst of a pandemic, we're acutely aware of how our actions and behaviour may affect another person's well-being. The opening of chapter 15 could easily be construed as a message to us today. Let me read it now. "We who are strong ought to bear with the failings of the weak and not to please ourselves. Each of us should please his neighbour for his good, to build him up. For even Christ did not please himself, but as it is written, the insults of those who insult you have fallen on me. For everything that was written in the past was written to teach us, so that through endurance and the encouragement of the scriptures, we might have hope." Now, Rome was a cosmopolitan city, and the Christians came from many different backgrounds, just as we do in the city of Sydney. It would be very easy for the Jewish Christians to feel that they were superior to the Gentile Christians. Their argument could be that Jesus was a Jew and came in fulfillment of the ancient prophecies. Paul addresses this question with a series of quotes. He says, "Accept one another then, just as Christ accepted you, in order to bring praise to God. For I tell you that Christ has become a servant of the Jews on behalf of God's truth, to confirm the promises made to the patriarchs, so that the Gentiles may glorify God for his mercy. That was in verse 7. Now, these quotes are really important. They tap into the Jewish heritage, the law and the prophets on the one hand, but they also affirm the Gentiles on the other. To the Jews, Paul is saying, remember, this was all prophesied. To the Gentiles, he is affirming, you are the fulfillment of this prophecy. Now, his first quote comes from King David's song of praise to God on deliverance from his enemies and from Saul. Therefore, I will praise you among the Gentiles. I will sing hymns to your name. That's in Samuel and in a psalm. And then he calls on Moses' great prayer at the end of his life, where it reads, rejoice, O Gentiles, with his people. And then he calls on the shortest psalm of all, 117. Praise the Lord, all you Gentiles, and sing praises to him, all you peoples. And finally, the well-known quote from Isaiah 11. The root of Jesse will spring up, one who will arise to rule over the nations. The Gentiles will hope in him. And the key word at the end is hope. This hope theme appears no less than 9 times in Romans. A significant thought is in chapter 8, verse 24. Hope that is seen is no hope at all. Who hopes for what he already has? But if we hope for what we do not yet have, we wait for it patiently. Now, more than ever, we need hope. Hope for a lessening of the spread of the virus, hope for people to obey the rules, to be vaccinated, to do the right thing for the common good. Nicky Gumbel in his commentary says, the origin of hope is the God of hope. The reason for hope is Jesus. The source of hope in you is the Holy Spirit. This hope is not wishful thinking. It is rooted in what God has done for us and is doing in us. This hope is the driving force for our and the Romans' day-to-day living. As Erwin McManus comments, hope lifts us out of the rubble of our failures, our pain and our fear, to rise above what is at one point seemingly unsurmountable. Our ability to endure, to persevere, to overcome is fueled by the one seemingly innocuous ingredient called hope. I'm sure many of you know this hymn. In Christ alone my hope is found. He is my light, my strength, my song. This cornerstone, this solid ground, firm through the fiercest drought and storm. What heights of love, what depths of peace, what fears are stilled when strivings cease. My comforter, my all in all, here in the love of Christ I stand. Let's finish with Paul's blessing. May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace as you trust in him, so that you may overflow with hope by the power of the Holy Spirit. Amen.